Hey, Fraggle fans, Beth here. We are going to be doing a bonus episode to recap Season 1, and we would love to get some audience participation. So send us your questions, headcanons, stuff we missed, fan art, favorite moments from Season 1 of either Fraggle Rock or Fraggle Talk. You can email me at beth@toughpigs.com. Thank you all so much for listening. On with the show. Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth, and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia, and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam, and I have transcended this cage that you mortals call time. I am standing beyond the cycle of this wheel, and so first has no meaning. This is the first time. It is the last time. It is every time in between.
I'm so jealous. That sounds great.
It's wild out here. David Bowie's here. It's great.
I would love to transcend. That'd be great. Get me off this
Go
mortal
work
plane.
in a public school and don't sleep. You'll get there.
Okay. I work with dogs. That's like I'm almost there. It's close.
Do you have 30 of them?
Oh, I've had a lot of dogs that's crammed in my old house back in the day.
That's fair.
Anyway.
But wait, we have a wonderful surprise for you, dear listener, for there is in fact a fourth being.
What? Who could it be?
Hello, it's me, Joe Hennis from toughpigs.com.
It's true.
We know that guy.
I know him.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for being here today.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jazzed to be here. I love this podcast. You say my name on it every week, so I feel like it was a matter of time before I actually show up in the flesh.
See, Beth, I told you the summoning spell would work if we repeated it enough.
But also, like, as Beth and I both know, we have tried to make this happen many times.
Yep.
And for some reason, my schedule has been a bit of a jerk. And every time you're like, we're doing it, I'm like, I could do every day, but except for that one. That's not going to work for me. So when it's like, okay, you're doing the season finale, I will move heaven and earth. I will be there. I don't want to miss out on being a guest on this season. So I'm very happy that I made it in just under the wire.
Aww.
We're so happy to have you here.
So today we are talking about the last episode of Season 1. Oh my gosh, you guys, we made it through a whole season.
I can't believe it.
This is The New Trash Heap in Town, which aired on July 4th, 1983, written by Laura Phillips and directed by George Bloomfield.
I have I have a lot of mixed feelings about this episode.
Yeah, many mixed feelings.
Big same.
But I just love that we start off with Sprocket doing reps with a phone book.
It took me a second to figure out what he was holding. I couldn't figure out what he was exercising with.
Well, so Julia, there used to be these things called phone books.
Do people know what phone books are anymore?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's because, I mean, I am not young enough that I can remember phone books when I was a kid. We had one in our house, but it's been so long. I cannot remember the last time I saw an actual real-life phone book.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that's why Sprocket's doing reps with it.
If that was today, he would just be like lifting his phone over his head.
Just
like
his
little,
smartphone.
like he would Google how to get phone numbers. It would just be a little cell phone over his head.
No, you'd have to lift all of Google over his head.
All of
And that's a
Google.
way better workout.
Yeah. How much do you think Google weighs?
Well, they figured out that the internet weighs as much as a strawberry.
What?
Oh. So
Well,
like
yeah, probably.
a strawberry and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
For the letters, the weight of the letters.
I'm not joking. They figured out,
Yeah.
given that the internet is like electricity and a vast, wide-reaching network of electricity and signals being sent back and forth, and they have weight, but it's very, very small. If you put it all together, it weighs about as much as a strawberry. There was a YouTube video about it.
Electricity has mass?
I mean, no, but the electrons moving through it do.
Oh.
Science.
I think. I don't know. I will preface any fact I try to say with the understanding that there is one more day before winter break, and as I have mentioned, I have transcended the wheel and cage of which you call time. So maybe physics is different out here.
Yeah, everyone pour one out for your
And you
teachers
pour one
right
out,
now.
But pour it into a cup and then hand the cup to me.
That's the better answer. Yeah, fair warning, there is a little bit of weight stigma nonsense happening in this episode. So we open with, Sprocket doing reps with a phone book, which is adorable, and Doc comes in with all of this ice cream, cakes, cookies, chocolate bars, potato chips, and doggy delights for Sprocket.
Mm-hmm. Which, thanks for remembering your dog.
Did you notice that doggy delight box? It's like they just like pasted 2 pictures of Julia. What kind of dog was that? Was it a Shar-Pei? Did you notice?
Oh, I didn't take note. I did notice that it looked like they just slapped a picture or 2 of a dog on there, and it wasn't the best prop work I've seen with Fraggle Rock, but I didn't notice what kind of dogs they were.
It makes me wonder if it was like someone's dog.
Yeah, just someone on the set, and someone in the crew. It's like, here's a picture of my dog.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's going to be famous. He's going to be on Fraggle Rock. And it's like, they had to swede the box anyway, so it's like, we'll just paste it over the logo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Doc has bought all this stuff because he's trying out a new diet drink. And supposedly, if you drink this thing, which is great because it's made out of concentrated rutabagas.
It's very good.
Does anybody else think that rutabaga is the funniest name for a vegetable? Because it's my favorite.
Oh, absolutely.
It's up there.
Can't go wrong with a rutabaga.
I don't think I've ever actually had a rutabaga.
I don't know if I
don't
have either.
know
No
if
one
I
has.
know what it looks like or what it's like akin to in the vegetable
like
family.
Big turnip.
Fun fact, rutabagas aren't actually real. They're an urban legend.
Oh.
Okay.
Kind of an old wives' tale kind of a thing. They're like a were turnip.
I mean, are they at all related to radishes? I feel like that's
Ooh, they might be.
that would be an easy line to connect.
It's definitely some sort of tuber.
Maybe.
I feel like you split the difference between a radish and a
I
turnip.
could Google it, but I won't.
Where's the fun in that?
I have no restraint. I'm Googling them right now.
Go for it.
Oh, but Google is so heavy.
They do look like turnips and radishes, so
There you go.
that I guess answers it for me, which, I have had radishes. I don't know if I've ever actually had a turnip, so.
Yeah.
Oh, turnips are great. If you make mashed potatoes at a 2-to-1 ratio of potatoes to turnip, you get them like a lot creamier and a lot softer, and also turnips are really good for you.
I have heard that.
Good to know. The more you know.
Anyways,
But rutabagas. Okay, so like I understand. Like Doc usually makes things that are, I don't know how effective his inventions are, but like at least you could look at it and you could say, yes, you whatever, you turn this crank and it does the thing.
Mhm.
But he has absolutely nothing to back it up. That he's like, oh yeah, I made this juice and therefore I can eat whatever I want and lose weight, or his logic is more that you have to eat everything you want so that you lose weight.
he's testing it, I believe he
None
said.
of this makes any sense.
Yeah, he's testing it out. He does try to validate and verify it. He does try to kind of back it up. He says, "You've heard of fighting fire with fire, haven't you? Well, I'm fighting food with food." Which not only did that make me laugh very hard, but Doc walked so that Dimension 20 A Crown of Candy could run.
I was just going to mention Dropout because on the same day that I sat down to watch this, I had watched the latest Make Some Noise, and one guy was singing a song about rutabaga soup.
About rutabagas. Okay, I wasn't going to mention that because I was like, there's no way someone watched Game Changer and knows that did a song that rhymed Lou Vega with rutabaga. But that was also in my mind, Beth. I'm glad we're on the same page.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Lou Vega with rutabaga. That's so good. A little bit of Moki in my life. A little bit of red in my garden.
It was to the tune of Mambo Number 5.
I
don't listen to
but
music.
yeah, he had to mention vegetables, and it was delightful. Anyway.
Incredible.
So we cut to the Fraggles after this, and they do something that I really love, which is implication-based storytelling. They don't have somebody say, "Oh no, Gobo was injured by a gourd. He was thumped. Now his leg is broken." They just show you him lying down there with a broken leg, and everybody bringing him soup, and Wembley makes an offhand comment kind of making fun of him, and now we're like, oh, that's why he's in the bed, because he got thumped by a gourd. Okay.
Yes.
Like, that has a lot of respect for the viewer, and whenever people do it in kids' shows, it always makes me happy, because it helps kids understand to look for context clues and make good implications and understandings.
Yeah, it's very organic.
I mean, I've read like grown-up novels where the characters will spend a page and a half with one character saying, "As you know, blah 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 exposition." I'm like, oh my god, please respect your readers more than this.
Mm-hmm.
I went to see that movie Wish this week, the new Disney movie, and there's like literally a scene where, you know, she like says to her friend, like, I don't remember anyone's name, like, Debbie, my best friend, who's also a baker, won't you help me as I'm going to my interview to be the apprentice to the magician? And it's like, oh boy, you just like vomited that exposition out in a way that was not nearly as classy as Diana Rigg did in Great Muppet Caper.
Exactly.
One of my favorite little throwaway bits that Adventure Time has is Shelby is a worm who lives in Jake's viola, and there's a bit where at the beginning of the episode there's a party, and Finn says, like, oh, you can do this. Oh, and thanks, Shelby, the worm who lives in Jake's viola. And Shelby says, thanks, Finn. You can just call me Shelby. It's fine.
Along with us organically like finding out about what happened to Gobo, there's also some nice little ties between what we just saw with Doc and Sprocket and then going into the Fraggles. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously they're eating rutabaga soup. There's like this kind of nice little convo back and forth with Wembley and Gobo about like how he's like, he says like he's eaten so much, like he's going to be as fat as a Gorg, but like it's not in a negative way. It's just them like stating about how much soup he's eaten. And there's also something about someone says for the sake of science. Oh, I think Moki gets into it about like wanting to paint the portrait of the batworm that will come up in a little bit. So yeah, I always really appreciate that with Fraggle Rock, how we start with like this one storyline and we see the little ties as we go into the next one as well.
Which also organically, we find out that they have all just been having a collective nightmare.
Yeah, what is that?
Fraggles
for like
have
days,
shared dreams, you guys.
And they just accept it?
Yeah, it's part of their life.
They're just like, yep, this is the thing that happens. We all just have the same collective nightmare over and over again. What you gonna do? And I was so mad at that, and then I realized that's what we all do about climate change. So, like, I don't really have any stones to throw. But, like, dang.
But one of those things is real.
That's true.
Jesus.
Have we learned about the Fraggles shared dreaming yet, or is this the first time we've seen it? Okay. I didn't think so.
Oh, this is the first. Really? This is we didn't already get like a dream share scene in the first season?
Nope.
Oh, that's dope. Oh, what a good tease.
Yeah.
You want to know more about Fraggles sharing dreams? Well, you better stay tuned for season 2.
Hey.
If HBO, you better renew us.
That's how I remembered they share dreams, is because of the HBO series. But yeah, this is such a interesting way to, I don't know, introduce this concept. Is they're like, oh yeah, I'm just so tired of this nightmare that we're all sharing, and it's like, excuse me, the nightmare that you all are collectively having together. They're
just so casual about it.
Yeah.
Also, they share dreams? Fraggle puberty must be so awkward.
Oh no.
So I don't think it's that they share all dreams all the time, because we will learn later that, you know, a character can go, well, okay, let me take you into my dream. And so it seems like this shared nightmare is an understandable thing, but not a normal thing, if that makes sense. Like, normal enough that they're all like, oh, yeah, it shared dream, but rare enough that they're talking about it.
Gotcha.
I mean, it definitely seems like the idea, like, so in the series, Junior Gorg is constantly trying to thump the Fraggles, and we never actually see him thump a Fraggle, which makes sense.
Wow, spoilers.
This seems like being thumped by a Gorg is such a rarity, and it causes like so much drama in the Fraggle community that they're all stressed out about it, and they're going to share this dream or this nightmare. But then the other thing that I'm kind of curious about is, like, I don't know what I assumed a thump meant. I just assumed he was trying to crush them into goo. But being thumped apparently means that they're in danger of breaking your leg. Like, it seems like the bar of danger just went really far down to me. Is that just me?
I mean, I assumed that being thumped was just kind of like being hit.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, yeah, if you go to hit a Fraggle as a Gorg, you're gonna destroy them. But if you go to hit a Fraggle and you just kind of wing them, yeah, I could see you breaking a Fraggle's leg.
I was assuming that it was any damage done with that giant club of his, so that, like, if he got an entire Fraggle under the club, they would be squished. but maybe Gobo dove out of the way at the last second and just his leg got caught.
Well, the other thing is, like, later on, we'll talk about the dream, because we get to see the nightmare later in this episode, and Junior does say something like, I'm going to thump you and break all your legs, or something along like that. Like, he specifically mentions their legs. So it seems like that's what happens when you get thumped. Maybe not. Maybe I'm the only one who read it that way.
Not all of my legs, all 2 of them.
Careful of your Fraggle legs.
I interpreted it that way because it's not the actual Junior Gorg saying that. It's their imagination of what Junior Gorg is and does and says.
Yeah.
And since Gobo specifically in this instance hurt his leg, that's Junior's coming for all of our legs now.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. I like that logic. I'll go with that. But then a more important question is, who do we think patched up Gobo's leg? Are there Fraggle doctors? And therefore, are there Fraggle HMOs? And what must their premiums be like?
Well, we know Fraggles don't have capitalism.
There you go.
So I'm assuming they don't have to deal with HMOs.
Can't have insurance without money.
I am very curious about Fraggle doctors, because I feel like if you're a doctor for a whole community...
I mean, unless it's the Doozers who did it, like the Doozers would probably ask for some sort of payment.
Would they? Do they have capitalism?
They could probably build a good splint.
We don't at any point see like a doctor, like a medic or a caretaker Fraggle.
We will see a character with a doctor's outfit, like a white coat and the little shiny reflector thing.
What's that thing called?
Stethoscope?
Yeah, that.
No, the reflective thing for surgery.
No, the thing that they wear on their foreheads.
Yeah, the surgery thing.
Yeah.
The little mirror thing. There's got to be a name for that. I could Google it, but it's so heavy.
I believe the scientific term for it is a little mirror thing.
Little mirror thing, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is definitely something that I've been curious about. It's just like, how do they handle medical issues? Somehow, apparently. But they decide that he's going to take his mind off it by reading the traveling Matt card. And this one's about kangaroos, and I have a really important question, which is, Matt, how did you get to Australia?
Yes.
How did you get to Australia? You didn't swim.
How did he get across the ocean?
Did you take a plane? Did you take a boat? I feel like we would have heard about that.
How did his postcard get back to Gobo from Australia?
I mean, look, postal services are awesome. He just puts a stamp and an address and it gets there, but like...
That's a lot of stamps, though, even for a piece of paper.
It is. So I spent a long time in New Zealand, and also it costs a lot more to send mail back to the States, or I guess North America, because they're in Canada. Yeah, a lot of questions. He's just hanging out with a bunch of kangaroos where he's got to be in Australia, and we don't know how he got there.
Yeah, because they're not at a zoo. They're not in an enclosure.
My alternate theory was going to be that he wandered into a zoo, which seems like a very traveling Matt thing to do. I mean, obviously it's not, because we see what's behind him, which I love the gag that he's like hiked up this mountain and there's this beautiful vista behind him. He's just like, ugh. Does not care for this endless sky BS. You'd rather be under a rock.
Poor little tired feet.
I also they do such a good job of making it look like he's taking off his socks and shoes as a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, Gobo's like, it doesn't work, whatever. And then we go to the actual trash heap, I believe.
Yes.
And this is where I start to get... So the pacing of this episode is a little weird, but I'm okay with that at first. But the camera work starts to get just strange. Like, there's... Have you seen those videos that people put on, like, ads and stuff where it's extra zoomed in so that they can get away with it and they don't get copyright claimed?
Oh.
You know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, it feels kind of like that. Like, there's just a little bit too... There's not enough space for the shot to breathe. There's not a lot of, like, vista or environment. It's just really close up on all of the things that are happening, and I don't know if that was on purpose or if it was what they were trying to achieve, but that did not do it for me. I was not having a good time.
Also, is Marjorie knitting Philo and Gunge socks for their noses?
Yeah, they're nose warmers.
Nose warmers. That makes more sense than nose socks.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So I was curious, like, with what you said about, the extreme close-up stuff, and I don't think it was necessary to, like, hide Philo and Gunge, like, because that's usually the reason you would do it, so you could pan back and, like, oh, surprise, there was something in frame. Like, they're kind of behind her or below her. I thought, like, oh, maybe it was, like, this director's first time, and I went on Muppet Wiki, and it looks like, what's his name, George Bloomfield directed like half of Fraggle Rock, so that guy knew what he was doing. He directed. His name's all over this thing, so that theory's out the window.
I have so many questions, and I receive no answers.
It's like life.
I scream unto the void outside of time, and all I hear back is David Bowie gently crooning.
Could it be that now I'm having trouble remembering exactly what it looked like. As she's knitting, does it look like there's not much to see? Like, did we need to like zoom in to see what she's doing? Because once you get farther back, she's such a mess of stuff that if she was doing something with her hands, there's a good chance you're not going to see what it is. You don't see the business.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, it starts here, but it doesn't stop.
Oh.
Like, that style, that, like, weird zoomed-in thing happens throughout the whole episode.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe
it's to set the tone of the episode, something to do with the overall feel that they're going for, since this is the last episode of the season.
I mean, if the last episode is trying to make me feel uncomfortable and claustrophobic, I don't know. I loved the content of the episode, but just, gosh, the way they were presenting it really didn't vibe.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marjorie has taken up knitting because the Fraggles aren't coming to the garden anymore. They're too scared of getting thumped to come ask for her advice. And she's enjoying her time off.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah, it's Philo and Gunge who are really just kind of like, Marjorie, shouldn't you be worried about the Fraggles? And she's like, no, I'm doing my knitting projects. I'm taking up all these hobbies.
She's got some me time.
And I keep trying to tell her to not do that. And it's like, yo, she deserves hobbies.
Yeah.
Let her knit.
She's a hard-working trash heap. She works hard, and she plays hard. And she knits hard.
Exactly.
Bingo.
And then after Marjorie, we cut back to Moki, who, in the previous scene, she came in with the rutabaga soup for Gobo, even though he was stuffed and didn't actually want any more, and mentioned how she's going to go try to get she's going to paint a portrait of, I believe is it the hairy-chested batworm?
It is.
Which no one's ever done, but she's going to do it for the sake of science. And that's where she heads to.
And specifically, she has to stay up all night in order to catch this nocturnal creature, which is why she does not experience the nightmare with them, which will be important later.
I didn't pick up on that until the end of the episode.
Same. When she has the realization, when we'll get to it, but when Gobo kind of tells her about the dream that everyone else experienced except for her, I was like, oh, right, she didn't have the dream. And that changed my feelings on Moki in this episode a little bit more, being like, oh, she was actually out of the loop on all of this.
Yeah, she kind of got swept up in it.
Yeah, where she thought that something had been said about her, but actually this was not the case. The hairy-chested batworm is a really weird puppet.
Let's talk about this guy.
He's bonkers.
He's got a lot going on. And also the way he presents himself, like, so it's almost like they're, like, dancing, kinda?
His movements are odd. Visually, he's like if you stuck, like, two orange pears together, and then wings that are way too small, and then, like, some fluffy, feathery gray fur looking randomly at... Oh, it's a... And then a human mouth with human teeth. Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's like if you took two oranges and then you stuck them together and then you put, like, a gourd on top of that and you gave it a human mouth and teeth and wings and then you just rubbed it very vigorously on a golden retriever on, like, two parts of its body.
There you go.
My note is, I wrote this down. Okay. I think so incredibly highly of the puppeteers and the people who make the puppets. They are amazing and perform miracles. But what the am I looking at here?
Yes. Yes.
It looks very bug-like to me. Like, I mean, I know it's a batworm. It's supposed to, but like I think I'm looking at a picture of it on the Muppet Wiki right now, and I'm actually surprised that this puppet seems to have never made another appearance anywhere. Maybe it's in the background of another Fraggle thing, like without the fur or something.
It escaped after that, and they've been too scared to hunt it down.
Then God help us all. But I guess like it looks as close to Jacques Roach from the Muppets a little bit, but it's not the same puppet. It's just like that kind of buggy, like it's got like tendrils and a bisected head, where the where the mouth creases, that sort of thing. I don't know. It's an ugly puppet.
The worst part, I could accept the human looking teeth if he didn't constantly say in this deep, random human laugh.
He was very unpleasant. It was performed by Steve, okay. You know, just, yeah, I don't know.
But one thing I like about him is when Moki's like, oh, I gotta paint your picture. I thought it was gonna be like, okay, I gotta sneak up on it, or I gotta trap it, or it's gonna be kind of scary, because there's a lot of scary stuff in Fraggle Rock. But the second, and the fact that no one's ever painted a picture of it, so it's gotta be elusive for a reason. And she's like, I'm gonna paint your picture, and it immediately poses for her, which I think is hysterical.
Yeah, that was very funny.
And reminded me of, do you remember that Sesame Street sketch with Guy Smiley and the animals in the jungle? And they're trying to take a picture, but they gotta be real quiet, but Guy Smiley gets real excited and scares them away. And at the end, they all got excited about him, and so they took a picture together. I was thinking of that part where it's like him and the monkey and the lion, and I don't remember what it was, like a rabbit or something. Like they all pose together. They're like, geez, like it's a cute, funny Sesame Street sketch.
Nice. I didn't see that one, but it sounds rad.
It's super rad.
We cut to when we eventually see the painting that Moki has done. We see the painting, and then we cut to Moki, and he's just right next to her.
Looking at the painting with her.
And going,
I love your impersonation, Beth. It's very good.
It is very good.
We never see this creature again, really? Never? It's never brought up again?
I don't think so.
What a waste of a nightmare.
Okay.
That's the nightmare of this episode.
Yes.
Oh,
Not this other thing, the shared dream stuff. It's just this guy.
My nightmare.
Little Danny DeVito over here.
Oh my gosh, they should bring this creature back for the new series and have it voiced by Danny DeVito.
Yes, please. Oh my gosh.
John Tartaglia, are you listening? We got a pitch for you.
Everything needs more DeVito.
Always.
So they decide they're going to have a meeting about...
Well, wait, so they cut back to the nightmare, and this time Marjorie interrupts.
Right, yes.
Oh, can we talk about the nightmare before she interrupts? Like what the nightmare is? Because do we see it the first time, or do we just talk about it?
This is the first time we're seeing it.
Right, that's what I thought. Okay, because it's like Junior Gorg hits the Fraggle well, the pond, whatever, the well they used to get to, down to the lagoon with his club, and then like he's like crawling through Fraggle Rock, like John McClane through the air duct. Like it's genuinely terrifying.
Oh yeah, it's very scary.
Yeah, like that seems like a nightmare I would have had as a kid, of like Junior Gorg on his hands and knees coming after me.
Yep.
And then and he says he's gonna thump all your legs. That's what he says. But thump all your legs, which is like very specific. Like he's just going after my legs.
Yep, just your legs.
And gives this maniacal laugh.
Yeah. Hate it.
That does make it almost scarier, that it's not like, I'm gonna thump you, I'm coming for you. It's like, specifically, your leg.
Yeah.
Gonna get it. So in watching this, I thought that the part of him like hitting Fraggle Rock, I was like, oh, this reminds me of the episode like a few back where he's trying to get into Fraggle Rock. And I read on Muppet Wiki that there is some recycled footage in the dream sequence. I can't remember the particular episode. It's the one where his parents reveal Fraggle Rock is their kissing rock, isn't that right?
Oh yeah, the sacred kissing stone.
Yep.
Where he's trying to like break the rock and they tell him to stop because of all of the tradition tied into it.
Yeah, the garden plot.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, Marjorie interrupts their nightmare and she tells them, oh my gosh, what does she tell them?
Look for wisdom inside yourself.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, first she tells them, like, don't be afraid, it's only a dream. But then she says, this is a great opportunity for you, a chance to look for wisdom within yourselves. And don't worry, you will come back to the garden someday. And until then, I've been knitting up a storm. Like, okay.
Well, the thing that I did write down was she tells them, you should see what I'm doing in Argyle.
Yes.
Which is very good.
I appreciate, number one, that the first thing she does is she gives them some genuine information, which she doesn't normally do. Like, she's not speaking riddles. She's like, it's just a dream. It's cool. I'll be back someday. Until then, here's some actual advice. Like, obviously they misinterpret it, but like, some real advice is you can deal with this stuff on your own. And I like, in the meantime, she's like, don't call me. Like, you deal with your stuff. Yeah, like when my alarm goes off and my vacation's over, then we could get back to work. But for now, like, leave me alone.
Marjorie's really come a long way since episode 1, where she just kind of gave them usually kind of bad, but sometimes okay advice. And now she's like popping up in their dreams. She can appear to them. We've seen her actually use magic, like to make all of the radishes disappear and everything, or turnips disappear. So it's been interesting to see her growth. I'm curious. I bet if we looked back at all the episodes, it would be really at that halfway point in season 1 where we saw a lot of shifts happen that maybe they re-examined her and they're like, maybe she should be actually a little bit more helpful to the Fraggles instead of her like being like, here's a lucky item, it'll help you, here's a new hat, you know.
Yeah.
It's been nice to see with her, as well as plenty of the other characters too.
Yeah. So then they go to this meeting, and there's a great little detail in here that I really love, where they're going to tell Gobo about the meeting, and on his way out, Boober just like stops and grabs a little finger taste of that rutabaga soup.
Yes.
He just sort of walks by and goes, and they're like, Boober, come on, and he hustles his way out of there. But just like, they didn't have to put that little detail on there, but they did. And they did it for us to make it feel like it was an actual real world with people who actually care about soup. And I like that.
It's Fraggle Rock.
It worked.
It's
because
what
he
they
does
do.
care about soup.
He does.
Especially Boober. Yeah, he probably made that soup. He's proud of it.
It's canonically said that Moki made the soup.
Moki's making the soup.
I hate to be that guy.
Oh, well, he's probably jealous that Moki made such a good soup. He's like, that's my job.
He probably helped with the soup.
Yeah. Or he's like comparing recipes like, is her rutabaga soup as good as mine?
Is it?
Apparently it is. He liked it.
Boober does also say, I hate meetings. I hate dreams even more. They're strange and scary, which,
yes,
same.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, everybody is freaking out at the meeting about these dreams. And oddly, like, Gobo is the only one who's kind of keeping his chill. He tells them that the dream just said to think for ourselves, and he's so unbothered while everyone else is really freaking out, which is interesting.
He gets it right away. He's like, oh, obviously that's what it meant. Like there's no conversation. He's just like, no, that's it. Like, before he even met with the rest of the Fraggles. It's like, yeah, that's all she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just said to think for ourselves. Like, guys, I don't know why you're making a big deal out of it.
Like, Gobo doesn't even go to the meeting. Probably also because his leg is, messed up and he doesn't want to go. But
thumped. It was thumped.
It was thumped. But everyone else goes to the big meeting, which is being led by the world's oldest Fraggle.
Which was really good to see him again.
I love that guy. He's so old.
He's very old.
And so Fraggle.
And so worldly.
There's this wonderful moment where he says, he's trying to bring everything to order. As the world's oldest Fraggle, it seems to me that I'm the only one clear-headed enough to interpret this dream. And they all start laughing in his face.
That's a good bird.
That's a good bit.
That's good stuff.
Okay, Boomer.
Exactly. In my notes, I wrote, Supreme Court says what?
Oh no, Bev, that's too real.
Spicy.
I'm
here for this.
I love it. Have
tasty.
you made a comparison to the Fraggle Council in Back to the Rock to the Supreme Court? Because there might be some parallels there.
Ooh, I might have to write that article.
We can unpack this later. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this offline because there's something there.
Yeah. So Henshi reminds them that the dream said we should look for wisdom within ourselves, and World's Oldest Fraggle says, well, what are you waiting for? Start looking! And they all just start looking around.
Which is great, because I thought they were going to start tearing each other open. Because they said, look within yourselves.
That would be a very different kind of show.
Yeah, yeah, it would. I don't know, this show's caught me off guard before.
I mean, at the very least, they could have been like, Wembley, open your mouth and like peek inside and be like, yeah, it's not you.
Like looking at each other's ears and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a wholesome version.
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be gory.
Less of a Game of Thrones sudden turn at the very end of season 1. Ugh.
That's how you get people to come back for season 2.
Oh, yeah.
What a turn.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta get the 5-year-olds to come back.
Wait, hold on. Okay, Joe, are you hinting that we, to get people to come back to season 2 of this podcast, need to have a bloody reveal?
No, I was suggesting...
Because I got a guy I can call if you really need, but like...
No.
It's going to cost extra if he does it on short notice.
Because I genuinely don't know at what point did HBO renew Fraggle Rock like in its original run. So like at this point, were they like, well, this is our last episode, maybe forever, or and like we have to kind of convince the network that we deserve to come back for more episodes,
right?
Or is it like, oh no, they already signed to like 2 more seasons or something, and we're fine,
we're good, we can do what we want.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're in the meeting and they realize, oh, we don't actually know what we're looking for. And Wembley's like, a Fraggle in Argyle. And some other Fraggle says, a Fraggle with wisdom. And Morris Fraggle says, a Fraggle that can solve everybody's problems. And she says, that's something that no Fraggle has ever done before. Yeah, no kidding. When you put it like that.
And here's, this is another thing that I just kind of didn't quite buy with this episode. Like, my suspension of disbelief didn't quite settle. Because they go from, like, we need to find wisdom within ourselves, to look around, to find somebody to solve everyone's problems, to, well, nobody's done that before, so we need to find someone who's done something no one has done before. And then Moki shows up and she's like, I've painted the bat, something no one has done before. And they're like, great, now you're the new trash heap.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big leap that they make.
That's like 3 big leaps in a row.
Yeah.
That's super Fraggly, though. That doesn't shock me one bit.
And they're all having this collective nightmare, and they're all freaked out and just don't know what to do without the trash heap. So I guess that's what pushes them to be like, we've got to make a decision. We've got to find a new trash heap to help us out. And they just kind of cling to the first Fraggle who, steps up.
Yeah, they're interpreting the phrase, look for wisdom within yourselves, meaning a person within your group.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Julia, you pointed out they've been having nightmares. They're all sleep deprived. Everything about this makes way more sense now.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Me too, little Fraggles. Me too.
Are they always sleep deprived? Is that why they're like this?
Possibly.
I mean, they're prone to mob mentality at the best of times.
Yeah, that's true. I just appreciate how, like, when they tell Moki that, like, oh, you're our new Oracle, there's no hesitation. She's like, all right.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in.
She'll roll with it.
Yeah.
I just realized this is the second time we've seen them give Moki a huge amount of power in this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the Finger of Light episode where was it that she got to make like three
commandments?
Yeah, that's right.
And at least that one was like, limited. Like you get 3. And this one is, you're the new trash heap indefinitely.
It's interesting because that one she didn't really want the power because she wasn't like going along with everybody else. Well, she went along, but just as an observer, and it just happened to be that she got it. And this one, they tell her, "Oh, you're the new trash heap," and she's like, "Great, awesome," and just immediately goes with it, no questions asked.
Did you guys already talk about convincing John this season? That's first season,
yes.
isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen him. Just the once, though.
But isn't that first episode, sorry if I'm remembering it correctly, where Moki is like, oh, it's really important that I convince the Fraggles of something, so I'm going to hire this guy. So, yeah, so, like, this is, like, a pattern for her that she is willing to, like, take it upon herself to make decisions for all of Fraggledom.
Yep.
We've talked a lot about how she has a lot of, like, white woman energy of just, like, wanting to just kind of always do the right thing and speak for other people and, like, maybe doesn't actually do that good of a job of listening to what others have to say. Of all of the Fraggles to become, quote-unquote, the new trash heap, like, in my mind, I'm like, I guess it makes sense that, like, Moki gets that mantle because she does have, like, kind of a similar, like, woo-woo type feeling to it, but they do give her such an immense amount of power, and she doesn't question it at all until Gobo finally has a one-on-one with her later in the episode.
Now, I do want to say I really appreciate the first thing that she does, because this guy's like, oh, my pet, what is it? Pet something.
Well, should we get there chronologically, or...
Did I miss another chunk? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we go back to Doc and Sprocket,
right? Yeah. Okay, go for it.
So we cut back to the workshop, and oh man, so what I love about the Doc and Sprocket segments is almost like Sprocket has dialogue in between Doc's lines. They're just physical movements and pantomimes and camera pans and all of this. Like, Sprocket is absolutely communicating, and Doc is not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So while Doc is, talking about how great this new diet is and he can eat anything he wants, and just talking about all the wonderful food he's eating and, get me some more pie. Sprocket is cleaning up after him, and he's so exasperated. He's throwing away empty boxes and empty bags, and at 2 different points he's like shaking with fury because of this guy who's just not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The body language they give Sprocket is always absolutely choice.
Doc's eaten a lot of food, like just an immense amount, and he has Sprocket get him his juice so that he can continue eating. And the whole Doc and Sprocket segment on this episode is so weird, because here's the thing, like, telling kids that exercise is good is not a bad thing, right? Like,
right.
Getting up and moving your body, that's great. That's definitely a thing that kids and adults should do. But, like, having it, I don't know, be pitted as just being like, this is the way that you could, like, eat a bunch of food, like, diet culture, like, comes into it too much, which feels gross. Like, him having a diet drink, like, just feels very, like, I don't know, Kardashian, like, things that you see on Instagram that, like, influencers are trying to sell you, which that's a whole other conversation about how bad those things are for you.
I mean, and to be fair, and, like, spoilers at the end, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
It took me till that moment to realize why the Doc and Sprocket segment is what it is. And that's the theme of this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the easy way out doesn't work.
That's not a bad lesson to teach. It's mostly just the stuff tied in with, like, the thought of the conversation around dieting really just didn't sit well with me.
I agree with you, but I feel like, anything that Doc starts out by doing, like, in any episode, it's like, well, he's wrong. So
right.
It does feel like a commentary on diet culture, even for 1983, of what diet culture looked like at that time. Where, like, he doesn't come in and be like, boy, Sprocket, you sure are looking tubby. Well, it's time that we put us on a diet. Like, he comes in with this, like, I got this brand new thing. It's called Taibo, and everyone's gonna love it. And we know immediately that he's wrong.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me that we're doing this commentary because, like, for all those reasons. And of course, like, we immediately see Doc start, stuffing his face. So we know what the result is going to be, is that he doesn't feel well. And I appreciate the fact that there really is no comment on, like, at the end, I know spoilers, but, like, he'll say he put on a couple of pounds, but, like, there's no, like, oh, and I feel fat or I look bad or anything like that. It's just, I tried creating a new fad, and it did not work because diet fads are bad news bears.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, the framing on this is really important, and I think they do a decent job on it. I definitely think, like, for the time, they actually did a pretty fantastic job. I don't think it aged as gracefully as it could have, but I do really see the framing that they were trying to do, and I think they did pull it off.
That's legit.
I agree, but I also had a different interpretation of the theme than you did, Adam.
Oh, I'm fascinated. What is yours?
I interpreted it as, like, having to do with intuition and, like, you remember the episode where Doc was playing music for his plants and was trying to improve on nature, and then turns out the lesson was, you can't improve on nature.
Yeah.
For me, coming at it from, someone who's been following the, intuitive eating anti-diet stuff for a while now, it boils down to, like, eat when you're hungry, move your body when you need to move your body, drink water when you're thirsty. Like, we're born knowing how to do these things. It's diet culture that makes us forget. And we're born with a certain level of, intuitive wisdom within ourselves that we will often forget about.
So you're saying that they're saying don't look elsewhere for an easy answer, look inwards because you know more than you think you do?
Something like that.
Huh.
Yeah, because Sprocket seems to know intuitively. He's like, I want to exercise. Like, that will make me feel better.
Yeah.
And Doc's like, quick fix. Thanks, science.
Yeah, that's maybe a better way to look at it. Because, for me, I get my heckles up, like, anytime, like, just diet culture comes into the conversation in general. And so
super
that's
understandable.
Why I was, like, also, like, paying attention to that high key. But also just the idea of it, exercise being the purpose of losing weight is also where it gets like a little finicky. But you're right, like Sprocket is working out in the beginning, and it's not because he's like, oh, I'm gonna eat so much food, but then like if I just work out, then I'll have such a slim body. He's just doing it because it probably is what he wants to be doing. And that's a good point, Beth, that could be more of the, like, I don't know, hopefully the commentary behind it, too.
Yeah, I think both of our themes vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's a lot of the, like... Well, because also, like, sometimes the thing to do is... Well, no, okay, hold on. Because I'm trying to tie it back into the end of the episode, which, I mean, spoilers.
Asking for help.
I mean, it's not even about the asking for help thing. It's the, like, no, like, you can't just have some other person come in and solve all of your problems. That doesn't work. You need to work with it, like, you need to figure it out yourself, and that's hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not an easy thing to do.
The wisdom inside all of us is going to tell us each different things, and that's because we're all different people, and we all have different needs and things to follow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the bigger issue with these Doc and Sprocket moments in episodes like this is, like, there's really not a lot of story there. It's Doc saying, I have this thing. Does the thing work? No, it doesn't work. And then they have to, like, stretch that out till, basically the entire length of a Fraggle Rock episode. So, I feel like I didn't even write any notes down for this cutaway back to Doc and Sprocket, because it's like, there's nothing new. Like, I'm more like, yeah, we gotta check in because we'll see what happened to them at the end. But, like, really, like, let's just move on so we can get back to the Fraggles.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also did not write any notes for that. I'd forgotten that it happened.
Speaking of the Fraggles.
Speaking of the Fraggles, speaking of segues.
Wembley has rarely been in finer form.
Yeah.
Moki is just going off talking about how what an honor it is, and it's so exciting, this awesome responsibility, and Wembley is just quietly repeating everything she says to himself, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love that little Wembley moment. You could tell that was just Steve being like, well, I don't have any lines here. I'm just kind of behind her, so I'm going to do something Wembley-ish. And I think it's hysterical.
Yep.
It's really good. So the thing that is really interesting... Oh, yeah. So her first solution is there's this person who's like, I lost my pet, and it's like a gnat bat, I think he said.
Oh, well, first... Sorry. going chronologically again. So then we cut to another, unruly mob scene, and Red is up front, like facing the crowd. She's got her whistle around her neck, she's got a little notepad, and she's directing everybody to go stand in different lines.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. I love it.
Good use of Red, yeah.
The office administrator in me is like, Red, this is a terrible system. You are not a good administrator.
It's so funny. It's so good, though. She's putting everyone into these categories. If it's this kind of problem, stand over there. If it's this problem, and then she says, "If you're not having any fun, go over there." She says to one Fraggle, "You look like you're not having any fun. Just go over there."
Yeah.
I love that.
And then this guy comes up and she goes, "What about my problem?" And she goes, "What kind of problem is it?" And he goes, "Miscellaneous."
She says, "Stand in any line." I'm like, that's a terrible system.
But you know what, though? Same. I have so many problems, and they're all just miscellaneous.
Right.
That's the line I need. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So the categories that she gives are, unfortunately, the first one she says is weight problems.
Which I did notice.
Yep, that line over there. Silly problems, personal problems, if you're not having any fun. And I was like, wait a minute, someone could have a problem that is all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Quite easily.
She also says pet problems and Fraggle problems.
Oh, yeah. Fraggles with pet problems over there. Pets with Fraggle problems.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
That's funny. Do you think, I think it would have been funnier if instead of saying weight problems, if it was problems with waiting in lines and wait over there.
That would have been funny. Better. Yeah.
That feels like a very Jerry Jewell type of joke.
Yep.
Had he written this episode. He did not.
We also get Wembley kind of being the Philo and Gunge for Moki, and he even does like a little yeah, which is great.
Yeah, he tries to repeat the, all-seeing, all-knowing thing and kind of gets it wrong, and then just, whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing great, buddy. Keep going.
Keep up the good work, guy. We're all proud of you.
But then we get to the first problem Moki solves about, is it thimble bugs? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
I loved this one because she finds two different people who have similar problems, but the opposite. Like, one person is missing their pet thimblebug, and the other one has too many thimblebugs, and she's like, here, help each other out. And it's like, oh, what? You mean the answer to our problems is community networking? What?
It's a very King Solomon moment.
But the opposite, it's like, if instead of we're going to cut this baby in half, he was like, well, you need a baby, and this woman has too many babies.
Have a baby.
Have a baby. Take two, they're small.
I mean, yes, but, like, more so, King Solomon was like, you idiots, you know the problem.
Right.
Like, it is actually, the solution is inside of you right now. You could just you just need someone to tell you, to point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Which, goes back to what the Trash Heap was trying to get them to do to begin with. And Moki just, accidentally fell backwards into this the exact kind of solution that they needed.
Yeah.
But no, they all just take it as evidence that Moki is so wise, and they go all for it. Moki, Moki, Moki. And she just fluffs up like a proud peacock.
She's eating it up. Yeah.
I do want to add, before we leave this scene, that the person who lost their pet thimblebug has this, like, hysterical screeching voice, like Belinda and Bettina from Up a Christmas Carol. It's like, I lost my thimblebug! I just thought that was hysterical.
It is very
That's all.
good.
Was that Dave? It sounded like Dave Goals to me. I couldn't tell.
Unfortunately, it's not credited on Muppet Wiki, so unverified.
That Fraggle also falls into, like, Moki's arms super dramatically, so someone was just having a great time with this character that they probably were never going to play ever again. Just having a good day on set.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I love that for them.
I love a Muppet that screams for no reason.
Oh, yeah. It's great when Muppets do it.
Just get loud. Who cares? Not funny enough. Get louder.
Then we cut back to Gobo, who he's on crutches back in his room, and Boober is cleaning his shirt that he was wearing when he got thumped, trying to get the grass stains out, but he says that he added too much bleach. And he's like, oh, I should go ask Moki to solve my problems with laundry. And Gobo points out to him that no one knows more about laundry than Boober. Boober is the laundry expert, which I feel like starts to really get into the crux of the episode about, the giving too much power to folks and, like, people then relying on them when maybe the people in power don't actually have the information that they're seeking,
Yeah.
I like that when Gobo goes off to talk to Moki, Boober shouts out after him, ask her if she believes in cold water washing.
I felt like that was a Dave ad-lib, because Gobo has left the set, and then suddenly Boober just pipes up with that as he's walking away. Which also, amazing puppetry with Gobo using the crutches.
Right?
It's so good. Yeah.
How do you do that?
There's got to be multiple puppeteers down there.
Oh,
I could not tell how one person would do that. Yeah.
It's just,
that was good stuff.
The way Gobo, like, rises up and then comes back down as if, like, he is using those crutches, like, to lift himself, to not put pressure on the leg. It's just beautiful.
It is so smooth
Chef's kiss.
that I did not even realize that was a thing that they were, like, doing as an incredible accomplishment until the back half of the episode. I was like, wait. This dude is a puppet, and he's walking around on crutches. What in the world?
Yeah. And that's the thing, is we're supposed to forget. They're supposed to make it look easy, and they do.
No seams in the world building.
Beautiful.
Good job, Jerry Nelson. You're good at your job.
One of the best.
And whoever was right-handing / crutching.
Crutching.
Good job, crutch person. You did it.
So, Fraggles don't have health insurance if they don't have capitalism, but clearly they have vendors.
They've got
because
buttons.
Red is going around hawking Moki buttons.
Right? I was like, what? But capitalism? What? How are you getting paid for that?
But she's not selling them.
I guess she's just giving them away for free.
I think she's giving them away for free, yeah.
And that's why she says there's only one per customer, unless you want two.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is good.
I love that line. Oh, that's good stuff.
That's a good one.
Guys, Fraggle Rock is good.
It's very good.
You know what? Controversial stance, hot take. I agree with you. Fraggle Rock is good.
Wow. I would buy a Moki button from Red.
Absolutely.
Because that's how much I like Moki and how much I like Fraggle Rock.
Did we see what the buttons looked like at all, or was she just handing them out?
We do. It's in the next scene. So like you don't see what she's handing out, but like in a minute you will see everyone's not everyone, but most of the Fraggles are wearing a Moki pin or Moki button, and it's really just like like an illustrated picture of Moki's face, like a coloring book page almost. That's colored in.
They have that giant banner of
Yeah.
Moki in Fraggle Rock. Is it just like that image on it? Probably.
It's pretty
maybe?
close. It's not the exact same image, but
Okay.
it's very, very similar.
I was gonna say if it was words, maybe Tough Pigs could sell a shirt that had like a copy of like the words. But that makes sense that Fraggles probably don't have. If they write, they don't write in English, and so it makes sense that it would just be a picture.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that Traveling Matt has to put Gobo Fraggle in English, in English lettering,
True.
on the postcard. But aside from that, I don't think we ever really see Fraggles with written language.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, we do.
Do we see
We do?
their alphabet? Is their alphabet
Long
just...
before I started this podcast, I took a screenshot of it. I have it somewhere. I forget what episode it's from.
Okay.
Oh, I guess we'll get to it.
We'll get there when we get there.
Right here on Fraggle Talk Classic, everybody. Stay tuned.
Hey.
Spoilers for future
How's that for a
seasons.
tease?
Wait, does that mean we get a season 2 like Fraggle Talk on HBO? We've been renewed?
We'll see. We'll see. They haven't gotten to the dailies yet.
Keep my fingers crossed and make the appropriate sacrifices to the appropriate deities.
I mean, we've had all 3 of the main Tough Pigs bosses on the show already.
Ooh.
Oh, do you want me to just renew you now? Yeah, you guys are renewed. Yeah, you can do more.
Oh, thank
ew.
Oh,
goodness.
yay. We didn't even have to bribe anybody.
I thought we were waiting for HBO.
Ah.
That would be a long wait. They're not returning my calls.
Nah, the Fraggles are on Apple Plus or
Oh, yeah.
Apple TV right now. We don't need HBO's permission anymore.
Oh, that's true. Yes, everyone's renewed. And you know what? If you're listening to this, you're renewed too. Good job,
Aw.
everyone.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Do you think the letter H, is just kind of stinky? Because it's got HBO.
Theo.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Lord. I'm cutting that one.
Something's wrong with my Zoom feed. I didn't quite get that. It sounded like you just told a terrible joke.
I did. No, you got that. You got it loud and clear. It was real bad.
Oh man, wow. I think I need to exchange my computer after that.
Solid.
Oh.
Good.
So then we get the first song of the episode, Easy is the Only Way to Go, sung by Phil Fraggle, who is performed by Steve Whitmire and voiced by his namesake, Phil Balsam,
Nice.
who composes the music for the show.
I really like this song.
I love this song. I love it. I was singing along while I was rewatching this episode. It's so good.
Oh, it's a bop.
Yeah, it's a heck of a bop. And I like that it kind of starts as like a singer-songwriter, like this Phil Fraggle with his guitar, but it very quickly segues into a gospel song, which is very appropriate considering that like they've just elected Moki as their new deity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like of course they're gonna like have this like stomp and clap and choir singing, exalt
Call and
Moki
response,
type of thing.
yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
It is a very interesting musical meld of like old school gospel and old school country and western
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
a way that works
exactly.
way better than it has any right to, much like most of their genre combinations. I also really like that they're setting it up as like a satirical sort of criticism of that specific thing of like, oh, I'm not going to try to figure out my own problems. I'm just going to find somebody with authority to do it.
Yes.
And they're doing it as a standard church song. Like that is tongue-in-cheek enough that they're clearly getting away with it, but boy howdy, that is very blatant criticism and satire in a way that I appreciate.
Yep.
Plus, just a lot of tiny little tambourines. With all the Fraggles have tambourines,
Right?
which I liked.
Which
It's very cute.
I'm pretty sure that most of those tambourines are just little painter's palettes that have been spray painted gold,
Oh,
which I love. Like, good
That's
for you,
awesome.
prop department.
Oh, I love it.
yeah.
It's so good.
Would you say we should give them props?
Props to the props department.
Yeah, again, I'm having a trouble with my headphones maybe or my Wi-Fi. It just sounded like such a bad joke.
Yeah,
it can't
I think
be.
it's your why God Wi-Fi.
Oh, awful.
Yeah. If you want the good jokes, the school district has to let me sleep. Anyways.
So we get this lovely shot of Boober receiving wisdom from Moki, and he's lying down almost like, in cartoons when they'll do like a character going to see the shrink back before therapy was cool.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Moki's just gently stroking his head. And he's like, I've tried baking soda, salt, even lemon juice. Nothing works. And he starts sobbing. I'm like, oh,
poor buddy.
You know, he also tells her, I don't mind being unhappy. I just can't bear the thought of a laundry failure at this point in my career.
Yeah.
Like,
Which is such
What a
Boober
great
dialogue.
line. That is a perfect
Boober
Boober
has
line.
the best lines. That's my number
God,
one
I love
takeaway
that
from
so
this
much.
season. It's great. Boober is amazing.
Easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, it leads to Moki telling him that, you know, maybe you need to move on and stop doing laundry and give it up, which is buck wild because no other Fraggle knows how to do laundry. This has been established in previous episodes. He's the laundry Fraggle. What are they going to do without Boober to do their laundry? They're going to be so smelly. It's all I can think about.
Moki's definitely not thinking ahead here.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. But everyone is just so on board because, you know, she says this to Boober and Gobo. We see Gobo during the song, and he's just so dumbfounded that everyone has been won over by this idea so quickly. And he speaks up about Boober. He's like, no, you love doing laundry. And everyone, like, turns on Gobo. They tell him to, like, shut up, and, like, they're not having it. And so even though, you know, Moki's not thinking ahead, none of them are as well. They're also bought into the idea that this is the way to be. This is how we're going to live from now on.
Yep.
It's
wild. The previous song already made this, like as Adam said, like made this very blatant reference to organized religion, and I feel like this is also a blatant reference to that. Of like, someone might say, "Well, I don't really agree with that." It's like, no, but that's what the church says.
That's true.
The church said it, so you got to do it.
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess in watching this, maybe because it's just like a lot of stuff going on in the world right now, I was thinking about government a lot when I was thinking about the power we give to people and how they wield it incorrectly. But religion is definitely, now that I'm thinking about it, also a huge parallel to this episode, and how I was raised religious, and how, you know, you're just taught to not question the things that are told to you by quote unquote higher power, you know. You just got to go with it, even if maybe it doesn't feel like the right thing, and often it's not the right thing. Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's the big difference between this episode and the Finger of Light is that Moki is more of a political leader who's enacting law in Fraggle Rock, and the Convincing John episode as well, as opposed to this one where like the Trash Heap has always been like they call her the Oracle. And they're not calling her their god, but like she's definitely more of a religious figure to them.
And she calls herself an oracle later. She said, "We oracles work in mysterious ways."
Yeah, exactly. So no, she's buying into it in this. Moki is buying into it in this episode that like she has ascended, you know, to this. I don't know, seraphim type
Oracle hoodity.
Yeah, right.
Yours was better.
I don't know. We both made up words. It's fine.
Seraphim's
but yeah,
a real
like
word.
so like it's definitely more of a religious thing than a political thing in this case. But truth be told, like Moki does lend herself to wanting both of those things. I mean, or at least being kind of almost tricked into becoming both of these things. You know, a not so reluctant leader.
Yeah.
And almost as if religion and politics are connected somehow.
Literally was gonna make a similar comment. Yeah, the dangers of combining those two.
I think I need to be a third person saying something with this intonation.
And then I say something.
Well, we only need 3 beats. You know what? Yeah, okay, get in here, say something.
Rule of 4. I'm changing the name.
Oh,
of the
okay,
joke.
cool. Yeah, look, you renewed us. Take the 4th beat. I noticed something really interesting as we're getting into these like crowd scenes. One, the sound design of the crowd is really well put together.
Oh, say more.
Oh, just they're not letting it fade out. There's like very clearly a bunch of different conversations that are all happening at the same time, and they're very clearly conversations that are happening, and there's enough of them that you still can't understand a word that's being said. Which is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to pay attention to what they're saying.
No.
Yeah, well, and also, like, there's something to be said for the scene setting of it, of, like, yeah, no, this is such a bustling, popular place to be that, like, yeah, you can't hear yourself think.
Mm-hmm.
I did not pick up on that, but I did notice that in the group scenes where Red is doing something, like she's selling the pins or she's putting people in lines or whatever, like usually, you know, in another episode or another TV show, all of the murmuring in the background would go down a half step, and then it would kind of be more like peas and carrots, peas and carrots, peas and carrots, so that we can clearly hear Red. But with both of those scenes, Red is like, you could barely understand what she's saying. It kind of doesn't really matter because she's just a part of that bustle.
Yeah.
And yeah, to your point, yeah, the Fraggle group feels very crowded and alive.
Well, and she also,
in
like,
a real way.
To your point that, like, it feels loud. She has to yell over them.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a crowd because you're hearing what people would actually have to do to be heard in that big of a crowd.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that I noticed that is another one I don't understand. There's so little background music in this episode. There's so little background music in this episode.
Maybe that's because there's so much background chatter.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Asked and answered. All right, let's move on.
Oh, so when Gobo is basically confronting Moki, you know, she's obviously getting defensive and like, you don't understand. And he gets this great line. He says, "That's not what the dream said at all, but it looks to me like you're having too much fun to care about the truth." And then just walks away. Like,
yeah, my
dang, Gobo.
Yeah, I mean, it hits home for her enough that the following scene from the crowd scene is her confronting Gobo, and they're away from the crowd, and they're able to actually have an honest conversation instead of everybody getting so riled up around both of them. And, you know, Gobo has a chance to tell her, like, that's not what the dream said. Your name did not pop up in the dream, and this is the first moment anyone has told her this because she didn't share the nightmare with everybody else, or Marjorie's premonition, you know, portion. She realizes that, you know, everyone kind of just bought into this idea that it had to be her. And it's actually really nice that when this is brought up to her, she doesn't fight it. You know, when this information is given to her, she's like, oh, I didn't know this. And immediately, like, it's not that she has a huge change of heart, but you see that she is aligned with Gobo a lot quicker, where I feel like in the past, maybe Moki would have fought it a little bit more, or tried to be like, well, you know, my name wasn't there, but it clearly has to be me. I'm the one for the job. And that is a nice thing to see from Moki, because of the Fraggles, she's been the one who has maybe been the most frustrating this season. You know, early on, maybe it was Gobo. Gobo has also seen a lot of growth as well. So this is a nice episode for these two, and seeing the growth that they've had over the, you know, course of 24 episodes.
Yeah, that moment of realization for her was so beautifully acted. Like, all she says is, "Oh, Gobo, you were right." And like the journey that she goes on in that moment, I'm like, this is a puppet. And you can see her thought process of, oh gosh, what have I done?
I had a similar realization as you, Julia, that, you know, like she just comes around very quickly on this. And a part of me is like, well, if this had happened like closer to the Act 2, then I think she would have doubled down, and she would have been, you know, like, oh, let me show you what I can really do as the Oracle, and then it would have, you know, gone to shit. But it also, to me, felt a little bit like, oh, this episode's running out of time. Like, we don't have time for them to have a long conversation.
That's fair.
But like, it almost like it accidentally fell into a more real conversation, to Beth's point of just like her just being like, oh, you were right, Gobo, and like, how can we fix this? You know, which is way more interesting than like really breaking apart the point of the Trash Heap's message, which we've already done like 3 times in this episode. We don't need to do it again.
Yeah,
and we don't need to hear Moki's rationalization of, oh, well, I accepted it because of this, and I got too into it because of that. We don't need that.
Yeah.
She just realizes her mistake and wants to undo it.
We've gotten that before.
I have, so like I said at the top, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this episode. This is my favorite part of the episode. This is my favorite part of the episode by a mile. And all of, like, this is the reason I love this episode. This particular scene, because what they are doing here is they are framing a friendship. They are specifically modeling friendship as someone who is willing to speak difficult truths with kindness and then help you out of the mess you made without realizing you were making a mess.
Yes.
Yep. Well said.
To paraphrase a thing that happened to me recently, I was talking to a friend who had been kind of hurtful to another friend of mine, and it was a complicated situation. It was, but I was trying to communicate really gently that, like, yeah, like, I'm aware that you have a lot of strong feelings about this, but also I'm aware that you've done some stuff that, like, caused a lot of harm. And they said something along the lines of, well, nobody wants to hear from their friend that they've been a jerk. And my response was, well, I mean, if you're being a jerk, wouldn't you want to hear it from a friend?
Yeah.
And the fact that Fraggle Talk is modeling this and showing that, like, yeah, friends are not the people
Fraggle
who will...
Talk is modeling this?
Fraggle Rock is... Fraggle... You know what? The line between
Fraggle
performance...
Talk is modeling this because... You've been a jerk, Adam. You've been a
You know
real
what,
jerk in this whole...
I can see what you're talking about, and I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'll come back into the cage and wheel of time, and I'll exist in the same plane with all of y'all.
Aww.
Bye, David Bowie. Oh, God, I'm in like a meat body now. Oh, this is wild. Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's the worst.
Oh, I think I'm hungry. Anyways, hi. Wow. Oh, it's good to be
Sorry,
back.
back to your point, your excellent point you were making.
I think I was saying something about how, like, yeah, they're showing that, like, friendship isn't just somebody who lets you sort of buy into your own act and keep spinning this, like, illusion. Friends are people who are willing to call you out on stuff and be like, no, this isn't true. And he's doing it kindly. Like, he's not calling names. He's not being like, you horrible person. He's not attacking her character. He's doing it the best way to do it, which is to say, look, this isn't true. It seems like you're really invested in this. I don't know what to do about that. And that's part of, I think, why he gets through to her so quickly, is because he's saying it so directly and also so gently.
Yeah.
And then we get our second song, our second and last song of the episode, Helping Hand.
Yes, this song appeared on the 1986 album Perfect Harmony, and it was also covered by City Lights on the Do It On My Own album.
Rad.
I really love this song. I remember listening to it on the Fraggle Rock album and, like, not getting into it at first because, you know, Kathy Mullen sings Moki's part, like, with such this like, falsetto that, like, she just kind of stays up in that high register. And now I listen to it and I absolutely adore it. I think it's beautifully sung. I think it's beautifully written. You know, I love the message of it. Again, I was singing along in my apartment while watching this because this is a great song. Is this another Balsam and Lee song?
Yes, in as much as every single one of them is.
I just assume, but, like, every once in a while I'm like, God, Balsam and Lee did a great job, and someone would be like, actually... This is one of the four songs they didn't write.
Even give individual song credits, I don't think. I mean, it'll have a link to the song and say that... That's a good point. I don't bother clicking on those song links because I just assume that they're all written by Balsam and Lee. So maybe not.
Sure. Well, either way, whoever wrote the song, assuming it was Balsam and Lee, did an amazing job. They're very good at their jobs as well. So, nice work, everybody.
Balsam Lee confirmed.
Thank you.
So, continuing what we talked about a couple episodes ago, there was that question of a potential implied romance between Gobo and Moki, and it said this theme is continued in the new Trash Heap Town, and we were like, well, we'll see when we get there. And the only evidence we have is Gobo and Moki holding hands at the end of this song?
Yeah, you know... I get it. I get, like, if that's the mindset you bring into absolutely any TV show that you watch, I could see why some people are like, I ship Gobo and Moki. It's strange, and it's, you know, it's a bit of a reach, but, like, sure. It, you know, between this and the other episode that we watched, was it Moki's funeral, I think?
Yep.
You know, sure, but also friends hold hands all of the time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends hug, friends do not spy. Reference.
I'm gonna break out the tome so I can quote...
The tome.
So, Karen Prell, talking about the scripts, There was one proposal for a show that didn't even get as far as a script. The Doom story idea saw Red and Moki fighting over a boyfriend. And we were like, whoa, time out, says Prell. She argued that Red and Moki were strong characters in their own right. We don't need to do the girly boyfriend stuff on this show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen Prell.
Podcasts aren't a visual medium, but when you read the first sentence of that, I made such a face. Such a ew face. Oh, that would feel so out of place. Like,
Doesn't
Red
it?
and Moki fighting over a guy.
It feels so wrong for the whole
Yuck.
ethos of the show. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would also, like, because we haven't seen anything along those lines, so it would break a lot of the world building tradition, because we've not seen anything that could be described as dating within the Fraggles.
Mm-hmm.
The closest thing is like Wembley meets that one Fraggle that he develops a bond and a relationship with, and then Moki is like, "Oh, you like her? I'm gonna match you up because y'all are in love and everything." But like by the end of the episode, we see him and the other Fraggle go off and they're having a nice time. But you know, it's never truly implied that he has like feelings for her. Moki just gets into his head. That's the only other time I can think, or the only real time I can think of when maybe there was like a crush, but even that is up in the air.
Yeah. Mentioning even the existence of romance in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only other thing would be like the characters that would not be considered kids, like
Right.
the storyteller, obviously being in love with traveling Matt or whatever.
Oh, that's right.
But that
We haven't gotten
doesn't
there yet, but
count.
yeah.
I mean, but they're supposed to be older characters anyway. Like it would seem more appropriate that they would have different lived experiences than these ageless characters of the Fraggle Five.
Yeah.
We don't ever see like a Fraggle family or whatever the equivalent of a quote unquote married couple. You know, like nothing like that ever pops up on the show, does it? Right?
No, not in
that's what I thought.
The Gorgs are the only ones with a modeled nuclear family, although there might be some doozers later on who do. Yeah, there's some doozers later on.
We know there's two doozers who are
Yes, there
married.
are.
I don't know
Yes.
about the kids,
yeah.
but we know there's two doozers who are married.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did see that in a previous episode.
And doozers have parents,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
as we, because I think, what is it, Flange is Cotterpin's dad or something like that.
Yep.
But Fraggles don't. We've never seen a Fraggle parent, only Fraggle uncles.
I do really like they come up with this plan, and it's a fascinating plan to get everyone to stop having faith in Moki, and it's to just have her come up with the most ridiculously, outlandishly, obviously a terrible idea thing that people just stop having faith in her. And I gotta say, this is where my immersion broke, because people don't do that in real life.
Yeah.
Oh, you think it would have been more realistic if she was like, Gobo's gonna go out to the Gorg Garden and do a duel, and everyone should have just been like, yeah!
No, I think what should have happened is she would have been like, he's gonna go out and have a duel, and then like half the Fraggles were like, that seems like a bad idea, and then the other half were like, you don't understand, she's playing four-dimensional chess.
I see.
Right.
She's brilliant.
should-
Moki forever.
They create the cult of Moki.
But they do because they're all like, okay, well, I guess we're all going because we know that this is leading Gobo to his doom, and that's the only option because the Oracle has spoken. So they all volunteer to go with him,
That is
which I
true.
think is kind of
Right.
nice too. Like that their gut reaction is, well, I guess we're all going to our and Boober is like, well, we all got to go sometime. Might as well be for a friend, and then he immediately faints.
I
Yeah.
love that line so much. The casualness combined with the just chunk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Moki's like, well, I guess I have to crank it up a notch.
Right?
You're all also going to be blindfolded.
And that's when the oldest Fraggle comes on and is like, this is insane. No, stop. What are you doing?
Yeah.
He literally calls it the dumbest thing he's ever heard, which I thought was gonna be like a lead into a joke of like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Let's do it, you know? But it does kind of crumble after
Yeah. No, I like that, he says, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard, and she giggles and says, it is, isn't it?
that.
Oh, yeah.
She's very pleased.
I will also say, like, I would have expected that this scene would be something where she would be ramping up the silliness of it. Of, because it's Fraggle Rock and like they do silly and it's fun, but I'm guessing they didn't do it because they have like organizations that are just dedicated to doing silly stuff, so it wouldn't seem that crazy. It wouldn't seem like something that they would want to say no to. they would just kind of commit to it. So it doesn't feel fun or funny that they're going to potentially send Gobo to his doom.
Yeah, they play it straight, which I appreciate.
Episode is ending soon. We got to wrap this thing up. Yeah.
Right. And then Boober asks this wonderful question. Well, so, Gobo's convincing them, like, hey, we all interpreted the dream wrong. We're just supposed to, find wisdom within ourselves. And then Boober asks, but what if we have a problem we can't solve? It's like, yeah, that is a real concern about trying to find wisdom within yourself, is you don't have all the answers. And Gobo says, well, we'll just have to go to the real trash heap.
I had all the answers. And then I engaged in solidarity by returning to my flesh body and rejoining the time cage and wheel. We didn't have all the answers, but I had David Bowie.
I love the fact that Gobo was like, oh, no, in that case, we'll go to the trash heap. I kind of thought it was going to be like, well, if that happens, we can work with each other. We could, like trash heap in this moment is not an option. Mm-hmm. So it's like, well, if you have a problem you can't handle, like, let's all talk about it as a community and come up with a good solution. But like, don't go to anyone that seems to have all the answers, because that's Bad News Bears. But nope, he was like, but maybe a little religion as a treat.
Just a little bit. Let's be bad.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful tagline for the episode, which is just like, no, you can't take the easy way out, but Fraggles can have a little religion as a treat.
Aww.
We gotta keep Marjorie around for season 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope there's a season 2.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed.
I do like that the world's oldest Fraggle says, unless you want to talk to me about it, there's wisdom in age, And then they all laugh at him again, and he starts laughing along.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was good. He's like, I know I'm a joke.
So we cut back to Doc and Sprocket, and Doc is like, I'm gonna test this and get the data. And he stands on the scale and he goes, well, I've gained 12 pounds.
Did he eat 12 pounds of food?
Yeah.
That is so much food.
He brought home like a whole cake and ice cream and stuff. Yeah.
And Sprocket has lost 7 pounds? Like, okay, if
That's not healthy.
It's not healthy. Neither of this is healthy. Like, when I lost a similar amount of weight in 2 weeks, it was because I was very, very sick. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, how long of a time is this taking place over? Because it feels like a day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. I assumed it was a day, but maybe it's not.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes with the Doc Sprocket bits if it is just a day or if it's gone over a longer period of time. I feel like it's implied that he just like was sitting and eating all of the food though. Like,
right.
And he was like, I'm going to show you, I'm going to eat all of this food and just have some of this drink, and then there won't be any additional weight or anything. So I don't know.
I do like that when he weighs himself and he sees he gains 12 pounds, the first thing he says is, well, something wrong with the scale.
Yeah.
Which is also what I would do if I had gained 12 pounds. But it's very possible that there is something wrong with the scale.
That's fair.
Like, maybe he gained 19 pounds and Sprocket is exactly the same weight, because don't force your dog to drop a bunch of weight in one day.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
It's not good for anybody.
And of course, the note we end on is Doc asks, how did you do that? And Sprocket demonstrates his exercising. Doc says, oh, I don't get it. You weren't even on a diet. And so once again, we're left with someone who really isn't any the wiser than he started out with. It's one of those episodes where Doc didn't really learn anything.
I mean, it feels like Doc's whole purpose is not to learn from his mistakes. Like, it feels like that's why he's in the show, is we get to see these characters of the Fraggles slowly learn and grow over time, and then we get to contrast them with Doc, who just keeps ramming his head against the walls of the universe and then blaming the universe when his head hurts.
I feel like we've seen him have more growth. I mean, their segments are so short in these episodes because we want to obviously spend more time with the Fraggles, usually. But, like, even I'll reference again Moki's funeral just because I listened to that episode the other day that we recorded. But, like, in that one, he is so mean to Sprocket at the very start, and then, like, apologizes, and we see a lot more of an arc there of him truly trying to make amends with like hurting his dog and his friend's feeling.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, yeah, like, I mean, that the line that Beth read is that's the last note, and then the episode ends. That's the end of season 1.
Yeah.
So it's a strange way to end the whole season.
Yeah. I agree. I don't need Doc to learn a lesson we as the audience are learning the lesson. It's all that matters. Doc does not need to be the one who grows. I think there will be stuff, like looking way in the future. There's stuff in season 5
Right.
that where Doc will need to have a little bit of character growth so that we can get to certain plot points. But for now, it's like, yeah, Doc is gonna be Doc. Sprocket is gonna do a double take to the camera to be like, this Yahoo over here, and then we as the audience will be like, okay, so maybe I won't go on a fad diet. You convinced me, Doc.
Yeah, that tracks. Before we talk about how to make the world a little bit fragglier, I just want to say what an awesome experience it has been to get to make this piece of art content.
Yeah!
Art
Content with all of you, and how wild it is to me that there are people who really, really enjoy it, and what an honor it is to get to do that. And special shout out to Beth, who is this whole thing is Beth's baby, and getting to be a part of your baby. No, that's the wrong phrasing.
Oh, no.
I should have quit while I was ahead. Getting to take part in the raising of this baby is a beautiful and wonderful thing.
Oh, we're co-parents.
Exactly. Screw the nuclear family.
Oh.
Sometimes a family is 3 people and some content and the occasional 4th guest parent. But thank you so much, Beth.
Oh my gosh.
I'll second everything Adam said, because, it is a labor of love with between the 3 of us and, the occasional guest as well. But at the same time, as much as Adam and I do, Beth does 10 times more in the editing, the research, just being so on top of things, bothering us to fill out our schedules to figure out when we're going to find a time that works for all of us. So, this wouldn't have happened without Beth. This is Beth's brainchild.
Oh
and
my
I'm
gosh.
very happy to be a part of it. I can't believe we're finally to the end of season 1. Small peek behind the curtain. The first 5 or 6 episodes were all recorded in 2022, and then we really got on top of our stuff, and it's been a joy to see this project flourish, especially the last year, but the entire time as well. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh.
I like y'all.
Y'all are rad.
I like Fraggles.
I'm gonna third this,
Oh.
even though I'm just a guest star. It's been a joy to be here, but really, my title on this podcast is that I'm the executive producer for the podcast channel. But really, my part was so much involved with the development of the idea and making sure that you guys had everything you needed to record, and we were working off the best ideas and setting you up for success.
Thank you so much for all of your guidance through that.
I mean, I was so happy to do it, but really, thank you, Beth, because all 3 of you, but especially Beth, because you took this amazing idea that you had. This was your idea that you pitched to me years ago, by the way.
Yes.
For years, we've been talking about doing this podcast, and I should have looked up to see exactly when you wrote to me originally. It was probably like 2015. You're like, hey, what if I did a podcast for you?
Oh no,
let's talk
it
about
was definitely post-COVID, because that was when I started my screw it, I'm writing about Muppets now phase.
Glorious.
Oh, great. Yeah. Awesome. Well, in any case, we have been talking about this for years, and the fact that you were able to take this thing that we all had a part in building and just run with it, where you barely need me anymore, which I love. I love the fact that you know exactly what you're doing. You've made a great product. This is a super fun podcast. People love it. This podcast gets so much conversation on the internet.
Yes.
Of people who are just people who listen to it first thing in the morning, because it drops at 5:30 in the morning, and there are people who, before we can post about it on social media, are already talking about it, which I love. So thank you all who are listening to this right now for helping make this a successful podcast.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Listeners, thank you.
It's wild. If you've been listening since the beginning, you know that I would make jokes about I want to thank our listener. We have a plurality of listeners. I had to stop making those jokes because they are factually inaccurate, and that is such a humbling fact.
The fact that we were anyone's top podcast of 2023, let alone multiple people's top podcast of 2023, is so strange and humbling and wonderful. It's so nice to be able to... That was what I realized I was really missing about my theater kid days. Like, I don't miss acting at all, but I really missed being part of a group of people coming together to make a thing together. Gosh, what a joy this is. And I can't wait to keep going. I'm so excited. Thank you all so much.
I'm super psyched.
Really quick, Beth, are there any international version notes or
Muppet Wiki does not have any notes on this episode for the international versions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was too hot for the international group.
Shall we talk about how to make the world a little fragglier?
Okay, I got one. Okay, here's how to make the world a little fragglier. Listen to your friends. Except also, don't always listen to your friends.
Yeah. If your friend is hurt, bring them soup.
Oh. If your friend is hurting other people, unintentionally, of course, they deserve to know, and they deserve to hear that from a friend.
If you see a hairy-chested batworm, start pinching yourself because you're in a nightmare.
Alrighty, Joe, do you want to plug your
That is
pluggables?
the perfect note to end on. Yeah, Joe, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you
thanks
for being here.
our last guest.
Y'all, this was such a treat. I am so happy that I got to play with you all, and thank you for having me on not just such a fun podcast, but I got to watch such a great episode. I genuinely loved this episode.
Yeah.
I had a really, really fun time talking about it. If anyone wants to find me on the internet, I don't really do personal stuff on the internet very much anymore. I'm on Tough Pigs, at Tough Pigs on literally every single social media channel you can think of. The only non-Tough Pigs thing that I'm doing right now is if you are interested in reading my TV and movie reviews, because I watch a lot of TV shows and movies.
Yeah.
I have a Substack. It is called Joe Consumes Media, and I really just once a week or so just kind of catch you up on everything I've been watching, and it's been fun, and people seem to like it, so I'm going to keep doing it. I've been doing it for about 2 years now.
Woohoo.
And everything else I do, I don't have time for other things because there's just so much to be doing on Tough Pigs, including, I should mention, I decided very late in the game I was going to do a podcast miniseries for the holidays. So on one of our other Tough Pigs podcast channels, which is called Muppet Fan Podcasts with ToughPigs.com. That's how you find it. Search for that. I did a 4-episode series called The Worst of the Muppets Holiday Edition. We are reviewing some of the worst holiday specials the Muppets have ever been a part of. We're doing it weekly through December, so check those out. They've been really, really fun. And I feel really bad for forcing my guests to watch these horrible specials, but it was all worth it. Fraggle Rock is much better.
The first episode you did with Fergie made me laugh out loud, and I've never seen that Sesame special, but it was a lot of fun to listen to y'all talk about
never
it.
Seen it?
No, and I don't think you convinced me to watch it. I mean,
oh, Julia, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's so good. It's so bad. It's good.
Stephen and I have talked about how we're running short on Muppet specials, so maybe we'll pivot to Sesame
The
specials.
bad ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. You should absolutely watch the bad ones. And then we're gonna have Hubba Wah back on that podcast channel in January. So if everyone loves Hubba Wah.
It's so good.
They're just waiting for that to come back. So yeah, lots going on at Tough Pigs, everybody.
Awesome.
All right. You can find me occasionally writing stuff for toughpigs.com and at Beth Anna Cook on social media. That's Anna with 2 N's. How about you, Julia?
You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up or juliagaskill.com, or also occasionally writing for Tough Pigs. I should have something coming out during the Christmas season, probably forcing my partner to watch a Muppet Christmas special he's never seen before, and transcribing all of the wacky things that we both say.
You can find me regretfully but decisively collapsing my ethereal waveform back into this corpulent mortal form so that I may participate in these so-called hobbies and holidays.
Oh, thank you everyone for listening, not just to this episode, but to the whole season. Thank you for sticking with us. Reminder to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcatcher of choice, and we will see you in season 2.
Excellent. And this time, I really do mean it. Take some time. Go ahead, put one of your favorite upbeat songs on, and dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk. Bam!
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk.
And whoever was right-handing / crutching.
Crutching.
Good job, crutch person. You did job. I like the idea that it's just a butler and their name is Crutch. So whenever they do a good job, we're like, good job, Crutch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Perfect.
Thank you.